everybody, it's Granny with 73 and I'm coming from my workroom. I just got back from the dollar store, and the dollar store has a lot of great stuff now in my town. It used to be just, stuff, crap stuff that you'd get like at the flea market from made in China, and it broke like 2 minutes after you got it home. But now they have some really good name brand stuff. And I wanted to show you a few things that I got. I got this cute little terracotta planter. It's got the 3 little terracotta pots and the base that, holds all. If anybody knows anything about terracotta, you have to soak them because terracotta is a very porous clay and it absorbs the water. So before you use them, you should soak them for about 24 hours in some water so that they will absorb, so that they're not sucking up all of your plant's water when you first start watering your plants. That's one of the biggest problems with terracotta, is that if you don't prepare them before you plant in them, they'll suck up all the water and your plants won't get any. But this cute little planter, it's only $3, and it was the only one on the shelf, and it was going to take me home, so I had to buy it. My great boyfriend spent $44 on me at the dollar store, and I'm blessed to have such a great man in my life, because he puts up with all my crazy. So you can't ask for better than that, right? Not very many men out there that will put up with our crazy. And showing you that the dollar store has all their spring stuff out, and it's just making my neurosis worse. And I don't know, anybody who knows me knows that this time of year, snow or no, when I had my garden, I'd be outside walking the garden, planting out my garden. If I could have, I would have been digging up my garden. But there's so much snow out there, and I am dying to get planting. So I am going to start all the stuff inside. I got a pack of sunflower seeds for 99 cents, and these are the ones that grow to 6 to 8 feet, and I am going to grow them in my apartment, and some of them will go to my daughter. But I have such success with sunflowers. When the first time I tried growing them, I was living in a townhouse, and it had a teeny tiny little backyard that I had dug out a little triangular corner of my little backyard, because it was like maybe 3 or 4 feet worth of dirt, and I dug it all up so that I could plant some vegetables and stuff. And my garden started taking over the yard, and our condo corporation couldn't come in and mow the grass without mowing over my plants. So I had a big war with them because I didn't want them in my yard trampling all over my plants. And I had, vine plants growing. They just took over my yard. Anyways, my sunflowers that year were only supposed to grow between 6 and 8 feet, and they were growing to over 10 feet. And I wasn't using anything in my garden except for water out of the hose. So, I also got marigold crackerjack, they're called. And they're multicolored, if you can see them, the orange and yellow ones. And I'm going to be planting these too. And for that, I went and I got these little starter thingies. They got the domes on top with the, let's see if I can open it, show you. The little domes on top. They fit over top of these, like so that they look like this. And they've got the little vent holes so that it doesn't get too humid in it. And I used these last year in my garden, and last year here in Canada, the growing season was crap. We had a lot of cold weather in the early spring, and when it rained, it was like freeze, like we'd get frost that night. So it became a bit of an issue. So when I had I always jump the gun and plant when it gets warm, when it feels warm to me. And if we had a couple warm days, and then we'd get a cold snap, and so I put these little domes over top of my tomato plants just to protect them, and seemed to work out pretty good, because I ended up with my tomato plants grew, but they didn't get ripe but before September. Like the year before that, I had tomato plants coming up, and I had tomatoes from June all the way into October. And last year it was different because we got the tomatoes, but they were all green and they weren't ripening because there wasn't enough heat. So, and tomatoes like heat. So onward and upward, I got these little zucchinis. They're easy to grow. These come with the zucchini. That's my phone. It has a connection fit every now and again. These come with a little packet of seeds, zucchini seeds. And just to show you, you get a little, this is a coconut hair puck, and you soak this in some water and it will fill the container. It's the growing medium to start your seeds. And I did this last year, and these things work really well. This time I got zucchini. Last year I got the zucchini and the tomatoes and the basil, and they all grew. But this year I get chives, and I got tomato, and I got basil. I'm in a room here, so excuse me. I have never grown the chives, but I know that the basil and the tomato and the zucchini grew really well for me last year in the pots. So they also had, this year, they had parsley and oregano. So I'm going to have my own little herb garden here in my workroom, just as I planned. I've always told my kids, you want something bad enough, it will happen. You just have to want it bad enough and believe that you can have it. And like I said in earlier videos, I know that I will grow stuff in this apartment, and I will make my own little oasis in my workroom, because I'm completely heartbroken that I don't have my garden this year. I'm determined to make the best out of a bad situation. I mean, the apartment is great. It's big and it's sunny in this room, but for me, I have to be outside in the dirt doing my green witch stuff. So, you know, I'm going to have to live vicariously through my daughter and do some planting here in my room. And whatever plants I can't grow in here, I'll take to my daughter's house and plant in her yard, which she's already agreed to. I'm not going to go doing some midnight sneaky and be planting in her yard without her knowing, and then have strange plants growing everywhere. I wouldn't do that to her. I also went and got BPA-free plastic water bottle for myself, because I'm doing gastric bypass surgery, and soon I will find out when my surgery date is. And I need to start drinking more water, so I went and I got a 28-ounce plastic water bottle at the dollar store for $2. And these are great. I had one that had a little pull-up lid that kind of flipped up. And then my son brought over his friend, and she had a little boy who was 2, and he was like a little Tasmanian devil. Like, everything got toppled, and my bottle got broken, and, you know, kids will be kids. But I had to go out and buy a new bottle because I love carrying these with me. Since I was a kid, I have to be drinking water constantly because I'm always dehydrated. So this is going to be great for that. And then I can keep track of my fluids, because I'm supposed to have something like 64 ounces a day or something like that. Excuse me, it's warm in here, and I can't stand my hair being down on my neck when it's warm, so just take a moment and throw it up. So there's also some stuff. You can get baking stuff at the dollar store now, which you used to be able to before, but I always thought that the stuff was crap, because every time I bought something there, I'd bring it home and it would bust on me. Like I'd be stirring something with, I like using wooden spoons, and I'd buy them at the dollar store because they were always going missing. My kids would take them outside and use them for little shovels, and of course then I don't want to use them in my cooking, so I'd go and get more. I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh, that cleared the cobwebs. Excuse me. Anyways, so I went and I got these measuring spoons. They're multicolored ones, and these, instead of them being like teaspoons or whatever, they're cups. This is 1/8 of a cup, and 1/4 of a cup, half a cup, and a cup. I thought, my son is moving into his own place, and I thought this was a cute little thing to do for him because, well, you know, he's a boy. I know the colors are probably he's probably gonna look at the colors and go, Mom. But it's cute. I would have bought these for myself, but my boyfriend tells me I have way too much kitchen crap, so we're giving some of it away. I did, however, talk him into buying me one of these. It's a Betty Crocker rolling pin, and it only costs $3, and it is like it's a ceramic one. It's a non-stick surface, and it's a ceramic rolling pin. So, and I've never owned a rolling pin. I always wanted one, but never actually went and bought one. I make these things called mummy cakes, and they're basically, when my kids were little, I always had staples in the house: flour, sugar, salt, water, you know, whatever. And so I decided I had this basic dumpling recipe, and instead of making dumplings out of it, I decided to make them into like little biscuits. So instead of, you know, putting them in the chicken broth and making it with a gravy, I would just take a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, and some spices, and throw it right into the dough, and then put it in the oven. But I always had to use like a jar to roll it out because I never had a rolling pin. And for some reason, whenever I went out shopping, I never even thought to buy one. So I finally got a rolling pin. But, you know, my basic dumpling recipe is, you can do anything with it. I just made cinnamon bun ones the other day for my boyfriend because he really likes them. My daughter and my boys love them, so I just wanted to show you. I'm going away for a couple of days to take care of my granddaughter while my son-in-law is in the hospital. He's getting surgery done on some discs in his back, and my boyfriend is going to be on his own for a couple of days, and so I said, okay, let's go get you some stuff so that you have some food for the next couple of days. And he bought stuff like this, and he thinks that this is good enough to live on. The only food he bought was some already made bacon, some malt bread, and some bologna. The rest of it is all junk food. Then, you know, it's like when men get on their own, they suddenly become little boys whose mom has let them loose in the grocery store. And so he bought stuff like this, and the Go Tiny cookies, and Pringles. I don't know. It's just, anyways. So, you know, that's my little mini haul for today. And once I start planting this stuff and getting it going, I will do a video and show you how the little pots work, and how to proof up the little pucks that come in them. And I gotta start rearranging so I have surfaces to put these planters on, because I don't really have anything to put them on at the moment. So I'm off. I probably won't post any videos for a couple of days. So when I get back, I might have a video with my granddaughter if my daughter says it's okay. I won't put it up unless she says it's okay to put it up. So Blessed be everybody, and I hope you have a great weekend. And if I don't see you till Monday, then, have a great weekend and don't get into any trouble. All right, blessed be. Bye.